I'm gonna say some hateful things to Vince McMahon. So with that being said, so
Yeah, well, that fucker deserves every bit of it.
mhm. So yeah, Owen James Hart, who we all know him better as Owen Hart, May 7th, 1965, born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
He's not a nugget.
Well, he's not a nugget.
He's a black card, damn it.
He's a black card, damn it. Unfortunately, he died on May 23rd, 1999, at the age of 34 in Kansas City, Missouri, at an event called Over the Edge. I'll get to that momentarily. Married to Martha Hart, had two kids. OG, I think how I say his son's name. Um, OG, I think I say. And then there was Adina. They're grown up now. Owen Hart, as his accomplishments obviously coming from the Hart family, the legendary Hart family. One of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in the 90s. He wrestled in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's wrestled back in WrestleMania 5 against Mr. Perfect as the Blue Blazer. We'll get to that too. Wrestled in Stampede Wrestling. Wrestled basically anywhere that he loved to wrestle at, to showcase what he can do. And then his time in WWF, obviously, being multi-time tag team champions, Intercontinental champion, one-time European champion, King of the Ring for 1994, two-time Semi Award winner, and then he ends up being a three-time. And I can't remember what year that was. But basically, but I always known him about being a two-time Semi winner. And he got into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2019. That has nothing to do with WWE's Hall of Fame, where it pertains to making money off of the Hall of Famers and exploitations and all that. So I can appreciate that type of Hall of Fame, where it pertains to Owen Hart, because Martha Hart will not allow that type of Hall of Fame for Owen Hart, just to make money off of him. Also, this Wrestling Messiah also where it pertains to okay, never mind. There was something else there that pertains to Owen, but outside of wrestling, Owen Hart, nothing I hear about Owen Hart is that he is a humble human being. That he was just one career individual, who love his family, love his wife, love his kids, love his peers, and all along with him, like a Mick Foley, and always nice to his fans, despite him being a heel during that time. Always nice to his fans, always taking pictures with them, always signing autographs with them, and always does, and then and also pertains to being a legendary prankster, with some ribbings to some wrestlers and all that, and a few other people, behind the scenes. Just all you hear nothing but positive things about Owen Hart, because there's nothing bad or negative to say about the guy. All right, and then we get to the whole thing with him being the Blue Blazer again. This was WWE's, Vince McMahon's way to punish him at the time, because of the whole thing of Wildheart at the time. He didn't want to do the whole thing where Deborah is in love with Owen Hart, Owen Hart's in love with Deborah, or that bullshit. Owen Hart did not want to do that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that before. Yeah.
So he basically got punished for that, and he became the Blue. This man decided to give him something that he hated being the Blue Blazer. And also this was during the time where Owen Hart was teaming up with Jeff Jarrett. So they at one point did this thing where Owen Hart's going to be taken down from the ceiling, where Jim Ross, not Jerry King Lawler, Jim Ross, Michael Cole, and Jim Cornette meant to say, excuse me.
Jimmy Cornette.
Yeah,
Jimmy Boy.
Jim Cornette commentary, where Jim Cornette's like, that this idiot is hanging, all that, and then Michael Cole's like, a fool came taking himself off on the thing, whatever, and I think it was on the Raw episode they did that, with Steve Blackman went at the Owen Hart and all that, as Blue Blazer, obviously, and then he went back up there. Owen Hart did not, he felt uncomfortable doing that first, and he didn't want to do that again, but they want him to do it again at Over the Edge, where he chance to go up against the Godfather for the Intercontinental Championship, which he was going to win that belt if he agreed to do the stunt. So before the whole incident, he was had to go through some rehearsals, but he was uncomfortable doing those rehearsals, and there was one point he decided to get away from that building, away from Vince, away from Shane, with some guy that he was that rides him, that give him a ride, something like that. And Owen Hart ignored some calls from people, and then finally a call from Vince, where Owen Hart was forced to come back there. If he doesn't, then he may be out of the job. So Owen Hart was doing the rehearsal stunt, and there was some technical difficulties. There was there was a couple of errors going on there. Owen Hart felt uncomfortable of all that, and then we get to the pay-per-view itself. There was what I heard, there was no rehearsals during that time when it was going to do it, and there was something too what pertains to the whole cable cord thing and all that, where the one with Sting went down. It was a proper cord that you could take yourself off of it, the hook thing. That's not what on her head though. What they did is had some kind of thing that could just snap off.
Very, very smart. Very smart.
And why they want to use that? Why they want them to use that? Because they want to do Over the Edge, or Owen Hart being the Blue Blazer, to do a comedy skit where he's about once he gets to the ring, he's gonna be 5 feet away, or so not 5 feet above, I'm assuming, and he's gonna fall down.
Whoa.
And not only that, there was some guy named Max Mini, who's gonna be the mini Blue Blazer, who's gonna be on top of him
What the
as he goes down. But they changed their minds at the time. So we could have 2 deaths during that time. And on top of that, with Jimmy Cordero, who so now we get to this. Now we get to this part here. So we get to the part where Owen Hart's gonna be lowered down, and then something went wrong. He fell about 78 feet out of the ceiling to the ring. Jimmy Corderas felt something that brushed him, something like that. He thought the turnbuckles or something like that may came off. He's like, he's looking around, like, what's going on? And like what was that? And then also he sees Owen Hart. And from there, Owen Hart of stories I'm hearing from some couple documentaries on that. Owen Hart tried to sit back up, but couldn't do it. He falls back. And from there, this is my guess. I think with him doing that, and then he ends up fading till he finally couldn't breathe anymore. Obviously, with them performing CPR and everything. And basically, not only there could have been 2 deaths, but with the Max Mini beyond we also could have 3 deaths: Mini Max, Owen Hart, and Jimmy Cordero.
Minnie Mouse.
Max Mini. He was a midget wrestler. I think he's still around though. You just don't hear from him. But so I remember watching that pay-per-view, and obviously, they didn't broadcast it on live, obviously. But all I hear is Jim Ross explaining about what's going on, and I didn't understand at the time what was going on. And then during the King Lauder, who rushed on to see what's going on with Owen Hart, he comes back and he's like, "No, not it doesn't look so good." Not at the time, I was not thinking anything of it at the time because I was young, very young. I still didn't know what was going on. I didn't get like I don't know how far he fell, because Jim Ross didn't explain how many feet he fell. So then later on, Jim Ross was told by Kevin Dunn that you're going to be live to talk about this update about Owen Hart, and then he's like, but I don't know the update of it. What's the update? And the way that Jim Ross said it, what Kevin Dunn told him, Kevin Dunn said, "Well, he's dead. You're on in 10, 9, and let me stop right there. When I first say this, Kevin Dunn, fuck you."
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, man!
Like, just imagine like if Jim Ross like stumbled on his words after hearing that. It's like, yeah, you're putting Jim Ross in a very awkward situation there. I mean, Jim Ross. I mean, he's a professional, but he's been this for a long time. But the fact that they have him like, he's dead in 3, 2, 1. Like, what?
It's like, wow.
Yeah, we all know how Kevin Dunn is, so. Now I don't know who's worse, Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn. So when Jim Ross
you got another name in the list, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it too.
Yeah.
So Jim Ross on TV, it was at the match with the Union versus one of the Ministry of Darkness. I'm trying to remember who it was. That's when Jim Ross was back on the camera back on him, where Jim Ross that's when he explained about what happened with Owen Hart, where he said that he make an entrance from the ceiling, and he fell for the ceiling. And I know in that time I knew he meant when he talked about the ceiling, like, and I was like, and then he was like, and then he said, I have the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died.
Oh.
Yep.
So let me get this straight. Vince told Kevin Dunn to tell Jim Ross that Owen Hart had died.
Right on the spot.
Right on the spot. What the fuck, Vince? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's like, come on, seriously. It's like,
Well, yeah, Robert, is that it for now?
Well, not, I also want to say Owen Hart was uncomfortable doing the spot. He didn't want to do the rehearsal. He didn't want to do it at all. Now I didn't care. Owen Hart was a heel. I didn't care what at that moment of time, didn't care if he was a heel. I didn't care if he was playing the Blue Blazer. Being a being like superhero. But he's really being a villain and all that. When I heard that news from Owen that died, I'm like, nah, it didn't hit me at first, but then when they WWE did the Raw is Owen segment on Raw, that's when it really hit me that he's gone, and then especially with the ending with Stone Cold with the giving the toast to Owen Hart. I thought that was the way he did that. Despite what Owen Hart did to him at '97, from SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
there was some hatred after that between Owen and Stone Cold, but but then when Stone Cold did that, you know, from Stone Cold, um, he was extremely hurt when one of his peers had died during a show that this man continued.
Yeah, I mean, you even had the Undertaker too. Like, he usually doesn't break character, but Taker, when he was in the ring when Stone Cold was coming out, like Taker looked like he was tearing up too.
Yeah, he was.
I think it was probably before he made his entrance. It looked like he was tearing up before he made his entrance, and then Stone Cold came out. And I know we talked about this on previous time, but yeah, Stone Cold, like, throwing his jacket in the championship, like, yep, that's right. Let's, you and me, Taker, let's go right now. Let's get this shit over with.
And they want to get over it.
I call it a fucking night.
Yep.
Well, and obviously the idea of Owen Hart going down to the doing the Sting entrance type of thing was a Vince Russo idea. And now I'm done with that one. Now I'll save my rant for this man. When you guys get your thoughts out of the way. So go right ahead.
For one, them doing the rehearsals, this, that, and the other. So they change the ropes, like the way it was just the way they made it, and then all of a sudden change it to the rope. It could just completely snap off. Just from that, and I know Robert, he's talked with us off air. That look, just from hearing that, people can speculate that Vince McMahon killed Owen Hart. How are you gonna, in the last minute, change the format of the way you're gonna do the entrance, where you can have the rope just completely snap, when before you had it safe for Owen, and you just all of a sudden change it?
I mean, I think, if anything, like, if Owen kept telling Vince he didn't want to do it, like, Vince, it should have been your sign, Vince, that he didn't want to do it, okay? And you should have forced him and pushed him to do it, Vince.
Yeah, and he felt uncomfortable. And another thing too, all these people, not just people like Jim Cornette, and there's been plenty of people, and I've listened to these interviews, especially Cornette. Like Cornette, he kept saying Owen Hart did not want to do that stunt. From Jim Cornette and from these other people, all those people have said that Owen Hart did not want to do that entrance. And of course, the two people who said otherwise, Ed Ferrara and Vince Russo, the only two people that said otherwise. Oh, Owen didn't have a problem with doing the stunt. Bullshit, motherfucker.
Well, that's absolute bullshit. You're telling me that Owen would have no problem with doing it. That's bullshit. All right.
Born again Christian, my ass. Fuck Vince Russo.
If Owen's going up to everyone and pretty much telling everyone, like, I don't want to do this, then he shouldn't do it. All right. You should not put your wrestlers who pretty much make your money, Vince. You should not put them in a situation that could get them hurt or killed like that. But you did, Vince. You did it anyway.
Because of what your vision was.
Because you had to top WCW with a Sting entrance. You just had to do that with Owen Hart.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, not only that, but basically punish Owen because not to do a fucking stupid storyline of a love interest when Owen's in love with his wife and his fucking kids, and you're gonna have Owen do a stupid segment with Deborah and Jeff Jarrett. His love interest. That Owen wasn't about that. What he was about wrestling. and you took that fucking thing away from. Dude, I'm convinced now. After listening to that, Vince McMahon and Russo, both Vinces, killed Owen Hart, and that's my conclusion after hearing that. Because how are you gonna set it up the way you do your entrance, and then change it the last minute to all the ropes can easily break? Vince killed Owen, and I stand by that. After listening to that, and why? Not only to punish Owen, not only to punish the fans, but to punish Bret Hart too. After the whole Montreal Screwjob,
Yeah.
I'm 100% convinced now, and it's a damn shame. Damn fucking shame. Fuck both Vinces. For for McMahon to come up with this scheme, and then for Vince Russo to blatantly lie on an interview to say that Owen Hart had no problem with it. But both Vince go right in hell. I don't give a fuck. Oh, Vince Russo. Oh, I'm born again. This, that. You're still the same fucking asshole that you always been, and always will be.
So Vince continued on the show after his death. Okay, Vince, at that point, that's where you call the network and you tell them, look, we said someone passed away we said Owen passed away from the thing that happened. We gotta take the show off the air. We gotta pull the plug of the show.
Yeah, it's not like it was gonna be their last appearance at Kansas City.
Exactly.
Come on.
You gotta at some point, like basically that's when you say, okay, we're cutting this off, we're done, we'll be back next week, whatever. You don't continue the show. You just don't continue the show after something like that. You just don't. There's more. It's at that point, you just lost a human life. All right, you just lost a human life. Who is more important than your TV show, Vince.
And for all these people that done interviews, like Owen would have wanted the show to go on. You don't know that.
Exactly.
How would you know? Owen's not. Owen's no longer with us for him to have it. Like, nobody asked Owen, "Hey, Owen, if you were to pass away from this accident, would you want the show to go on?" Like, you won't. I mean, Bret, he'll say, he wouldn't want the show to go on, and then other people will say, "Oh, he would have wanted the show to go on." But at the end of nobody knows.
Yeah. And that's the sad part. Is like you took Bret, you took him away from his wife and his kids. Pretty much, you took away not only a wife, but you not only took away a father, but also a husband, both his wife and his kids. By making him do that stunt, Vince, you pretty much took him away from both of them, from all three of them.
Mm-hmm. All because
he had to do some stupid stunt that you couldn't let your ego for 1 minute in your entire how many years you've been doing this, Vince. You couldn't let your ego go for one fucking moment.
And the fact that you knew about the whole thing of how the entrance was orchestrated with the what I already said, with the rope easily being broken, or you could just easily snap, like, just from that alone, this was no accident.
No.
Like, I thought at first, like, if this really happened, like, how was this? Did Vince really kill Owen? But after hearing that from Robert, what Robert said, from that specific description, I truly believe now that this was no accident. This was set on purpose because Vince McMahon had a vision for Owen, and Owen did not want to do it, and Vince just decided to punish him. You know, the accident would have never happened.
I mean,
He wouldn't let business go over personal
I
shit.
think
Over
the entire
personal.
Hart family felt though losing him though. Like, think about them though. They lost a family member because of that, you know, and that's what fucking sucks, you know.
Right?
And he died way too young, by the way. 34, he died way too young.
And
Yeah,
And Owen,
just imagine being those kids looking back at it like 20 years later.
exactly. I just, but this is like, I see this as like the long line of things Vince McMahon has done over the years, of where he's done something that's, or he's related to something that's like really fucked up,
you don't
and
care.
and he pretty much got away with it, you know. Case in point, the recent whoever just passed away recently, the female wrestler,
Yeah.
and saying that she got like sexually assaulted, raped on like a tribute to the troops, and Vince didn't do anything about it. He didn't do nothing about it.
How, dude, like for real, how Vince McMahon has gotten away with everything and not once gotten in trouble for any of that shit is beyond me. And
Like how,
also, you go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Also, like how, I'm with you. Like how's Vince keep getting away with all this shit, huh? How? Is yeah, I mean, seriously.
And
Yeah,
This
and
is,
also I want to say fuck you to the people when Bret Hart went in that WCW episode. All those pieces of shit in the crowd talking all that shit to Bret, like, get to the point or move on, or they were being completely fucking disrespectful to
yeah,
Bret that
yeah,
night. They can
yeah.
go that shitty ass crowd can go fight. I beat the fuck out of all those motherfuckers in the crowd if I was
Like he just lost. He just lost. Owen, you're all gonna go be a bunch of assholes to him? Like really? The fuck?
Yeah.
wow, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's video proof of theirs, out there somewhere. Probably on YouTube. But it's like, wow. Like I would have had security say, yeah, you're getting the fuck out of here, or or there would have been a fight in the crowd. But you don't go and disrespect people like that. But yeah, as far as over the edge, I think what the outcome what that happened with Taker and Stone Cold, I don't think that was the original plan. I think Taker would win the belt from Austin, and Taker was going to sacrifice Austin that night, and then take him to Monday Night and sacrifice him, because Undertaker cut that cryptic promo like at the beginning of the pay-per-view, talking about he was going to sacrifice Austin, that he was going to take him to hell, this, that, and the other. I think they changed that plans after Owen died, because if they had Taker sacrifice Austin that night, that would have left people a bad taste in their mouth. That would have been crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much.
I don't think after the Owen thing, I don't think Taker or Austin really felt like wrestling at that point. After what happened, they were like, "Nah." It was like let's just do this shit and get out of here. At that point.
Yeah, that's why they did that cheap way of Undertaker to beat Austin, with the quick 1, 2, 3 from Shane. Yeah, I don't think that was the original plan.
Yeah.
Ram, you're still there, man? may have passed out. Otaku, you got any thoughts or?
Yeah, I think this whole thing kind of just exemplifies the fact that Vince is a piece of shit, you know. And that remember that interview thing you showed us where Vince was interviewed by that guy. What was his name?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, there was an interview or something like that where Vince was saying, "Oh, I'm not responsible for wrestlers, dying or something like that."
Yeah, their timely deaths. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much how he really feels. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his performers.
Yeah, and anyway, but they not only worked at my company, but they worked in other companies as well. I was like, so you're putting the blame on other companies too. I was like, wow.
Vince, you're the CEO. It is your responsibility to make sure your wrestlers are taken care of.
Yes.
Including today.
Yep.
Yeah, you want me to do that today?
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's just like,
and why do you think? And seriously, why do you think these wrestlers die so young? Because you push them when they're younger to their limit, to their breaking point.
Yeah, that's why there's so many people that couldn't even make it to 60 years old or 50 or 70. Like many of these wrestlers, you got wrestlers that are going through drugs now or getting off drugs or going to rehab, and you got DDP yoga and a bunch of other things that they're doing, and then you got people that couldn't handle it and they kill themselves and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Even Roddy Piper was like, I'm not gonna make it to, I think, 70 or I believe something like that.
At a Piper and Warrior, like holy shit.
Yeah, I think Roddy Piper said 65. I think. Well, I'm not gonna make it to 65, and he didn't.
Damn.
Even he knew.
Yeah, sure enough.
All right. Yeah, I think Ram's passed out at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Robert. Take it away, buddy.
I mean, if anything, I'm surprised Hogan's and Flair's still alive. Like holy shit. Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with Rick, like it's mostly like alcohol and things of that nature. But yeah, Rob, good. Take it away, buddy.
Okay. And yeah, I did bring some good points though, what pertains to Owen Hart. Because and by the way, I had to be somewhere else to do this because I did not want to be loud when I do this. But the whole thing with Vince Russo, yeah, he can go fuck himself for pushing the idea for Owen Hart to do that, saying that he was okay with it. No, he wasn't. After hearing from a lot of people that knew Owen Hart, that Owen Hart talked about that he didn't want to do this stunt. He felt uncomfortable doing it. He don't ever want to do it. People out there have been saying this, and yet some people want to deny and say that he had no problem with that. No, he did have a problem with that. Even he talked to his wife about it, and Walter Hart at one point said that he didn't want to do it, the stunt either. And during that time when Owen Hart, was in the business, he would, he's start saving some money, that, building up, start a new life with his wife and his kids, to build a new home. Because after Owen Hart was going to be done with wrestling, he was going to live in his new home with his wife and his kids. And unfortunately, that didn't happen because Mr. McMahon
wanted him to do the stunt, wanted him to do the entrance that he didn't want to do in the first place, and that fucking killed him. You took away Owen Hart away from us. You were supposed to protect Owen Hart. He was the baby of the Hart family. And you wanted him to do a stunt that he was uncomfortable to do, and a pay-per-view that over the edge. Wow. So, what if it was Shane McMahon? If Shane McMahon would have done that stunt, well, he would stop the show. If Jimmy Cordero or Max Mini could have died along with Owen Hart, will he stop the show at that time too? I don't know if he would have done it, but I'm pretty sure he probably would have, with 3 deaths in there. But 1 death, Owen Hart, he didn't do it. He continued the show knowing that he fucking died. He was dead in the middle of that fucking ring, left behind a wife and 2 kids. For 20 years, without them. The Hart family fell apart after that. And to see how Vince McMahon has treated the Hart family too, we're taking Natalia, to Dave Boy Smith Jr., to Tyson Kidd, to Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart. Wait till he fucking died till he finally started putting the fucking Hall of Fame. Bruce Bulldog is not even in the fucking Hall of Fame yet. Brian Pillman is not in the fucking Hall of Fame yet either. The entire Hart Foundation, except for one, Bret Hart, is still alive. And the rest of them, fucking dead. And all he cares about is fucking money. All he cares about is making fucking money. And he continues to show knowing that fucking Owen Hart fucking died. Now, if it was Shane McMahon in that position, will he have stopped the show? Because I would love to know that.
If Stephanie McMahon, if Ashley was if Stephanie was in the same situation as Ashley.
Yeah,
Exactly. If Stephanie McMahon, if she was in that same position or weapon with Ashley, will he say something about that? Will he stop doing his tribute to the troops thing, and say, oh, don't let one bad experience have ruin the trip and all that, and in our relationships with them. Because I don't want to know what's going on in this man's mind. Because he's one weird motherfucker. For all the things I hear about Vince McMahon, he's one weird motherfucker, and he's a senile old piece of fucking shitty bastard who's out of fucking touch. And yes, you can call it conspiracy theory all you want, what pertains to what happened with Owen Hart. I believe that Owen Hart was killed because of Vince McMahon. If the whole Montreal Screwjob would not happen, Owen Hart will still be here. If this man would just not just go along with the stunt, Owen Hart will still be here. He will still be with his family, and the Hart family will not be in the situation they've been in for the last 20 fucking years. So when the day that Vince McMahon fucking dies, I'm not gonna feel bad for him that he dies. I feel bad for Owen Hart died because Owen Hart, besides of him being a wrestler, of his heel character, which I thought was entertaining. Well, Owen Hart, the person, Owen Hart, one of the most beloved human beings you ever meet. Now, I can't say that personally because I never met him, but I heard stories from people, even from Bruce Blitz. I give a lot of shit to Bruce Blitz, but I think it's worth from it as well. Owen Hart was a nice, genuine guy, always respectful, never bad anything to say about Owen Hart. So yeah, I feel bad that Owen Hart died. I cried when Owen Hart died too. We all cried for this guy that he ended up being gone because of one fucking old man at the time decided to continue the fucking show for one person dying, and that was Owen Hart. It just goes to show that he doesn't care about his performers, and still to this day he doesn't care about the performers. He's got them going to Saudi Arabia, to a country that these people of the government kills their own fucking people.
Yep.
Yep.
So when the day that this man fucking dies, good fucking riddance, because I'll be fucking happy and glad that he's fucking dead. So he could go burn and rot in hell. All I fucking care. And he could do all his own street folk cock thing with the devil himself. And take Kevin Dunn along with him. Because fuck Kevin Dunn too, fuck Vince Russo, fuck Vince McMahon, and Ed Ferrari said, who's also responsible for that too, because I didn't know about that too. Was he also responsible?
Ed Ferrara, I think he was involved in it too.
Well, then fuck him too. For
Mhm.
making fun of Jim Ross of his illness that he had from his face.
Oh yeah, that was fucked up with him and Russo making fun of his Bell's palsy. That was fucked up.
It was.
Yeah.
So yeah, when the day that Vince McMahon dies, it'll be a fucking happy day for pro wrestling. Because at least WWE will try to get back to what it used to be. So yeah, fuck Vince McMahon. Hope he fucking dies and rots in fucking hell. Of all I care for what he did to Owen Hart and the Hart family, for taking away Owen Hart from all of us, and not just from all of us, but from his wife and his kids. And just want to say, for the last 20 years, rest in peace to Owen Hart, who, if he was still with us, he would be 50 years old.
Damn.
Died too soon. He may be gone, but his legacy will live on, because long live the King of Hearts. And that's all I gotta say.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Preach.
And to the viewers watching, I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. It's just that I've been holding it for a long ass time.
Well, Robert, let me tell you this, dude. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the comment section are probably going to feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
You feel?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a couple people won't win, say, take it to that extent. They'll understand where you're coming from. So, because when isn't with everything? But we all know that answer. But I'll tell you this: one day Vince he'll meet the Reaper, and he'll deal with them. And I don't mean Undertaker. I mean the real Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Nick.
Owen Hart gone way too soon. He should still be here. Owen Hart should still be here. But no, Vince couldn't let he couldn't put the money aside for one time, and basically go along with Owen saying no to it. Just
It's like, what kind of dude, what kind of boss gives their employee an idea of what he wants to see, and politely the person's like, no, I don't really feel like doing this. It's not like Owen was like being a dick about it. It's like, no,
Exactly.
fuck you, I don't want to do this shit. Like, no, you're just uncomfortable.
I mean,
You don't want to do it.
was Vince like threatening to fire him over it? Do you think?
Supposedly, or you might not have a job if you don't
Shit,
Come to rehearsal.
I would look. If I was put in a situation like that where I could possibly like not survive, I'd be like, nah, fuck this. I'm fire me right now. I'm not doing this shit. Yeah, I'll go work in WCW. You know, fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Go, fuck you. I'm going to WCW with my brother.
Look, I don't know what AEW is going to do. I don't know what's going to happen with them. But as Dustin Rhodes says, Vince better watch his ass.
Yep.
Vince better watch his ass. As far as him trying to try to bring back the XFL, I'm sorry, but it's only gonna last 1 year again. I'm sorry, it's not gonna be the success you want it to be, Vince.
Yeah, look at the AAF. What happened to that?
Exactly.
That's-
Exactly. You cannot compete with the NFL. You just cannot. You cannot, Vince.
I was like, what the fuck? What
This
is it?
is going to be, by the way, this is going to be the 100th anniversary of the NFL. The NFL has been around for 100 years. Think about that. 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL, professional football is around for 100 years now. Think about that. All right. The XFL, that's certainly not lasting 100 years.
I was like, what the fuck is Vince doing? A 70-plus-year-old fucking man thinking he's gonna run an XFL team at this age, and at this state of the wrestling business. You couldn't do this shit in the Attitude Era at the highest peak of your of the WWE.
Exactly. That's when the money was rolling in. That's when he was at his all time high. He couldn't have done it then. I don't know why he didn't do it then.
Well, he tried it 2001 or 2000, whatever year it was.
2001. Yep.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably, as we all know.
It's like what makes us think that it's gonna be a success this time around. But hey, that's Vince's real dream. If you want an NFL team, not or XFL team, not or XFL league. Not to be in the wrestling business. That's what we had to fall back on. Because, who else was going to run it other than his father, who passed away after?
I mean, they just. I mean, people say, "Oh, well, wrestling's dead." Well, okay, if wrestling's dead, then the WWE is what killed wrestling. Okay?
Yeah, just like they killed Owen Hart.
Yeah, they're still around. So.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this too. When WWE did their DVD about Owen Hart, which was called Owen, Heart of Gold. Yeah, they did a first DVD about Owen Hart, and Martha Hart was not did not like that, by the way. And I also want to say too, James to Martha Hart, she distanced herself away from the Hart family, what pertains to own, not to have her own Hart, pertains to for the kids not to stay to be anywhere near them anymore, basically all away from them. And then she wants to keep Owen Hart's legacy alive, which pertains to the Owen Hart Foundation that she did, and it's a pretty good way to celebrate his the life and career, the lifetime of Owen Hart. Basically, WWE will have to always try to us remember all Owen Hart by. What pertains to either on some video footages on their DVDs or whatever they'll do, and then finally when they find it about Owen Hart, obviously Martha Hart had a problem with that. But even though the WWE did the release of all of the first DVD of Owen Hart, Owen, I didn't buy it. because I'm not giving them my money for what they did to him.
Yeah, after finding out what really happened.
While we're on this, by the way, the guy who basically funded AEW. He's also the owner for the NFL team, and that means he has more money than Vince. Seriously,
Yep.
and so Vince is in trouble. He's in trouble. If AEW takes off, then he's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, people. Yeah,
Vince better watch his ass.
Yeah.
these people, these people who mock AEW and it won't take over WWE, so on and so forth. You better watch out because you might just eat your words. You never know.
This might be the company that finally does it. Seriously, this might be the company that finally does it.
And you know what? It's been a long time coming.
WCW, they almost did it. They almost did it, but as we all know, it didn't happen.
Owen Hart should have been world champion in WWE.
Yeah, Bret should have put him, but they should have had Bret lose the title to him.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the torch.
They should went with Owen Hart being champion. Doesn't matter if how long he would have been champion. At least we would say he could have been champion.
Well, I guess they Cody and Duster are AEW because Vince has also treated the Rhodes family like shit for all those years.
Especially to Dusty.
Yep. That's why basically Cody mocked Triple H and then Dustin said Vince better watch his ass because they don't like Vince. They hate Vince.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why Bret was there, because he doesn't like Vince either.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if once Natalia's contract is up, she goes to AEW. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
And it should be booked better.
Yep.
And another thing too, I know I brought this up when we talked about the fan that attacked Bret.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck you're gonna have Bret after that whole incident at WrestleMania be by himself at ringside when the women are fighting? So what the fuck is wrong with you?
What? Exactly. You don't at least put him out there with you don't put Bret out there with like a security guard at least, if anything. Jeez. Why? I don't get it.
They could talk all they will. Oh, Vince had a red face when he got mad when Bret Hart got attacked. Then why would he have Bret go out there by himself, knowing what happened? Come on.
I mean, eventually one of these WWE shows is going to drop below. If it hasn't already, then one of these WWE shows eventually, like Raw or SmackDown, is going to drop below 1 million viewers at one point. If I was Vince, I'd be concerned if one of my live shows on TV drops below 1 million viewers at some point. I'd be concerned. And I think Vince is going to have to. He's going to he might get his hand pushed again. He might not. He might. Who knows? But I don't think if AEW takes off, then WWE's not going to last for long.
Yeah, after the AEW event that you put up, a Raw show like that where you did, yeah. What a statement! Oof.
Yeah.
He pretty much, Vince, like seriously, it's like Vince, you can't keep on shitty shows. Seriously, you cannot. Eventually, people are going to start. You know, they're going to. I think eventually some people are going to start waking up and realizing that, you know, your company is not what it is, and it's awful, and people are going to go and seek out something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though there's some people that we know that.
That's like, oh, AEW is going to fail and blah 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 and all this. No, it's not. It's not going to fail. It's not going to fail, people. Okay.
Yeah, and also WWE. It's dead, but you people keep watching. But okay.
Exactly. You keep watching, you keep critiquing it, but you're saying how much it sucks, but you keep watching it.
So they know what it is. They just don't give up on it. All right.
By the way, John Moxley will make his debut in Japan on June the 5th.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
June the 5th.
Now wait a minute though. Is it at the same night as Saudi Arabia?
Oh, it might be.
I don't think it is, but I think so.
Oh, it's the same day.
Oh, is it?
You know something? You notice how all the other companies are cool with other guys going in between companies?
Yeah.
And Vince is in WWE. Vince is not okay with that. You notice that?
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much. You guys have any final thoughts on anything?
Yeah, AEW, please be a success. Please be a success. It's time for whatever grip Vince has had on the wrestling world for for the last, you know, since he bought WCW. He said pretty much had the grip on the wrestling world for like the last, you know, like almost 20 years now. It's time for that grip to come loose and for it to fall. It's just time.
Yeah.
In order for wrestling to stick around for future generations, AEW needs to become a success.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing it already.
Yep.
All we want is for wrestling to, you know, I know this term's always been used every time because of Donald Trump, but in this case, we need wrestling to be great again.
Yep, and AEW was a step in the right direction.
All they need now is CM Punk.
No, seriously, if CM Punk, if he shows up, then it's pretty much, basically,
It's a wrap.
Okay, AEW would take off like that overnight, pretty much. You know, Punk can only do two. Punk, he could pretty much, you know, basically stick it to Vince and possibly put Vince out of business. Like seriously, he could possibly do that.
Like, come on, Punk, swallow your pride and get back to fucking wrestling. Come on, man.
Exactly. It's exactly. It's like Punk. Come back to what you love, dude. Come back to what you love. You say, "Oh, I don't love this." You still love it, Punk. I know you still love it.
Well, he did appear on one of his buddies, the Silas Young or something,
Silas Young.
wrestling event, and CM Punk did the little GTS, and then he just went in a mask and then just walked out the ring.
Yeah. We all know he still loves wrestling. He says in interviews that he doesn't, but he still loves it. And seriously, his UFC is basically his UFC career. Nothing's happened with that. So he's just got to go back to wrestling at this point.
Nope.
All right.
Got it.
Yes, you got it. All right. So Robert or Otaku, if you're still awake, final thoughts on anything?
Yeah, Punk. Well, if anything, Punk. Like seriously, if he wants seriously, if he wants full creative control over his character, then he should just go to AEW. Seriously, if he wants to go back to wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I don't think the AEW schedule, and I'm sure he can pretty much negotiate whatever schedule he wants to work with AEW, so he can be at home more. I mean, basically, Punk could have do a Brock type schedule, but probably show up a little bit, but probably show up more than Brock does. So yeah.
Exactly. And I also want to say once again, to Owen Hart.
Rest in
He
peace,
was
Owen
the
Hart.
Rock. Rest in peace to Owen Hart. He was the Rocket, the King of Hearts, the a 2-time Samuel Award winner. The Black Heart. So for Owen and his heart and the rest of our family. So sorry about that 20 years what happened to him by the hands of the owner of the company, and that's basically the just send my condolences for all these years of all those went down. We all felt your pain too, even though we're not related to the to your family and all that, but we all felt your pain. We all felt hurt that he left. Didn't that should have never happened. If we can go back in time, to prevent that happening, that he would still be here. And who knows what he would do if he was either continue be in the wrestling business or just have a day-to-day job. He still would have been here with us. So long live the King of Hearts, Owen Hart.
Indeed. Otaku, final thoughts?
Go AEW. Let's go. WWE ain't doing shit. Now's the time.
Yes.
They're in a pretty good spot right now. AEW.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of buzz.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically, if Punk said like he said in the interview, or Vince has like no like clear cut direction.
Nope.
AEW has a clear cut direction.
Yep. And they're not done yet. We're in the summer right now, and what represents for wrestling, it's going to be the summer of AEW.
Yeah.
And also a little bit Impact Wrestling too. They got Slammiversary. They put on a kick-ass show last year.
Mhm.
Let's see if Impact could do the same thing this year.
Or they're going to be going all out for their Summerversary weekend. Well, all the shows they're gonna be doing. Before we get there. Not just for the Impact Wrestling, on the weekly show on Friday, but also what pertains to the shows they're going to be doing on Impact Plus.